What's up, everybody? This is Chris Loeb. I'm coming to you direct. I'm coming to you from the heart. My life wasn't easy growing up. A lot of you might know the troubles, the criminal troubles that I had with the police in Suffolk County, with the district attorney, going to jail, and me being the centerpiece of that whole scandal. And a lot of you wonder, what was my tie to them, to the cops, to those cops? What was it? Coincidence? Was it random? And a lot of it was coincidence, because I don't believe in coincidences. I believe everything happens for a reason, and I believe that God purposely used me. I know God purposely used me to expose what was going on inside the police department and all the evil things that they were getting away with for all the years. And for years, people have been trying to stop them and trying to show the feds that what was going on. And here I come along and I break into the truck and grab the bag, the golden bag, the criminal bag, the party bag. And a lot of people ask me what was in that duffel bag. And I always tell people my number one answer is read my book. But my book is nowhere near being published, so I'm going to talk about some of that right now. No, it was no accident that I broke into his truck. A week before I broke into his truck, I had opened up the Newsday, and I was in my house in Smithtown, and I remember seeing the faces of the girls, the bodies, the Gilgo girls, and immediately I had a connection to those girls, and something told me that I was going to be a part of exposing the people involved in torturing and murdering and burying those girls that had no voice, that families were unable to mourn for the losses of their daughters. And even though that they were prostitutes, it doesn't that their lives in the face of God, and those are God's children. And I'm gonna fight until the murderers are caught. I'm gonna fight, and if it costs my life, then I understand those consequences, and that's what it may be. But God has kept me alive this far. So many times they tried to kill me. The government's tried to kill me. The state agencies. Through my drug addiction, I should be dead 1,000,000 times over. And by the grace of God, I'm alive. And I can tell you stories, so many stories where I should be dead. There was, I was involved in a lot of dirty things, with the drugs and dirty and bad people. And when you're involved and you're selling drugs and you're doing drugs, you get pulled over by narcotics division, and they like to plant drugs on you, and they like to manipulate and coerce you, and that would happen with people that I was circled with. Some people I knew were informants that were working with the heroin task force, and I never cooperated. I never told on anyone. That was never me. But I did know there was this one guy, I'm not going to say his name, that had contacts with a few detectives inside the heroin task force. Now, the heroin task force was a joint task force between, it was different units from different precincts, and the DEA and the government, and they joined together in doing special operations to infiltrate drug rings, and they would always harass me, and they would plant drugs on people, on friends of mine, on associates of mine, people that I sold drugs with, and I found out information, a lot of information that maybe I shouldn't have, but looking back, everything happened for a reason. So I found out there was a girl that was having sexual relations with one of the detectives, and then she had a lot of information on him, and she went into the precinct and she wrote an affidavit, and she was going to submit the affidavit, and they worked out a deal with her and to throw away the affidavit, but whatever. Long story short, I found out that there was a detective that lived in my neighborhood that was a part of the task force that was stealing drugs from the crime scenes, and I thought it would be a good idea to look for this guy's house and find out if in fact he had drugs. Sure enough, it was about 13 houses later that I saw a bright light shining from the living room. I told my driver to pull over right away. This is the house. I felt it intuitively. I felt it in my heart. I went to the driveway and I went to the truck. There was one single truck inside the driveway, GMC Yukon, and I opened up the truck, and it was a small gold mine. It was the truck I was looking for. It was a cop's house. Now, did I know if it was the police chief's house? No. Did I find out? Yeah. But that didn't sway me. What I found in the bag, besides drugs, when I brought the bag back to my house, I opened up a side compartment of the duffel bag, and there was a stack of DVDs, and they were pornographic DVDs. One of the DVDs I played, and what I saw frightened my co-defendant, and he begged me to bring it back, to put it back where I found it. I said, "Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna use this to take them down." And I played it. I didn't play it fully. I didn't play it all the way. I took it out. I put it back in. I took that DVD and I hid it in a shop vac. I put the rest of the DVDs back in the duffel bag, and I put it underneath the bed. A couple hours later, they came to the house. They raided the house. I exited my house, and I ran about 3/4 of a mile into the woods, and I hid in the woods. They got me. They dragged me back into the house, which was illegal. It was supposed to be a probationary arrest. It wasn't. They dragged me back into the house. I was becoming hostile with them. They weren't allowed in my house. They were all plainclothes detectives in my house. It was criminal investigation unit. There was no reason for them to be in my house. They were sent by Burke. They were sent by the police chief to locate the duffel bag, to locate the pornos. And the reason why he wanted the porno so bad was because he was afraid that if his fingerprint was found on one of the DVDs, and this was proven at Spoda's trial, that he would be in a lot of trouble. So that testimony was brought up at Spoda's trial by Lieutenant Hickey. When asked by prosecutor Lara Gatz, why Jimmy Burke was so concerned about his phonos, his DVDs, and why he broke protocol and risked losing his job over a simple petty larceny charge. And he said because he was afraid of his fingerprint being found on one of the DVDs. The next question was totally irrelevant to the subject, and it infuriated me because that proved to me that the government is covering up the Gilgo murders. This is what I'm going to tell you about the Gilgo murders. It goes way too high up. It goes to the Clintons. I'm saying that right now. It goes up to the Clintons. So, something happens to me, something happens to me.
Actually, this works out better for me. Slimmies this summer come to class wearing next to nothing. You know what I mean? Well, it's all right to be angry.
Well, I shouldn't have said that. Well, it is what it is.
It's gonna happen to you.
So hopefully Trump sees this. But I've been calling out for Trump.
Hope so too.
For a year. These people involved,
or even Kim K, because she's been involved in a lot of political things.
Kim Kardashian, holler at me before they kill me. Kanye, we know I'm Christian, I'm born again. Come on, I'm doing this Bible thing all day, every day. I'm a man of Christ. I'm a child of Christ.
And he really needs some help with the situation. A lot of PTSD.
I wake up in the night screaming. I don't know I'm screaming. The PTSD from this is I don't have any sort of normalcy left. I need some serious soul retrieval. I feel like I don't even own my own. I have no control over who I am anymore. And no, my lawyers took advantage of that. They took advantage of my disability. This whole thing's been a cover-up. Bruce Barkat, my lawyer that was representing me, completely covered it up. Completely controlled me. I fired him. I got rid of him twice now. He robbed me several times. I just rely on God now to lead me in the right direction, to do the next right thing. I really do. And is he on the topic?
No.
What? Say it.
I was gonna say until next time.
Until next time, I'm gonna cut it. My videographer is telling me to cut it. Alright, God bless everybody.